quite ridiculous. If your mother was alive, she would agree with me." Viola wanted to burst out that her mother had been happy for her to pursue the late Earl's passion, but instead she swallowed hard. "You cannot deny, sir, that the castle is now mine. I do not see why you should continue to live here." She gazed at him bravely and waited for his temper to erupt, her heart breaking as she remembered how her life had once been. Viola's parents had been devoted to each other, and she had had an idyllic childhood surrounded by their love. 2.5 years ago, the Earl had suffered a seizure and died. Viola and her mother, Emily, Countess of Galhampton, had been devastated. At one terrible stroke, all happiness had vanished. The Countess had been a petite woman who had depended on her husband for every aspect of her life. She was full of laughter and enjoyed providing small surprises in the form of treats or special parties. One time she had organised a meeting of motor carriages with the vehicles coming from far afield. Viola had been 12 when the Earl had acquired his first motor car, and she saw nothing strange in standing by his side as he worked on its engine with Joe Webster, his chauffeur and engineer. Soon Viola too was wielding spanners and learning how to deal with punctured tyres. As she grew older, there was nothing she enjoyed more than to spend hours with her father in his workshop. The Earl's funeral was attended by many friends and associates. He had been a well-known and loved figure in the county of Somerset, and Viola was warmed by the number who turned out to say goodbye to him. Among the last of the mourners to leave was a tall, distinguished figure with a prominent nose, straight black hair, and fierce eyes. "Your ladyship," he said, bending down over the Countess's hand and looking up at her with hypnotic eyes, "I have been deeply grieved by the Earl's death. He was a distant cousin of mine. Maybe he mentioned my name, Sir Rudolph Vane?" Viola could see that her mother had no idea who this man was, and Viola thought that he had showed poor taste in introducing himself by his title. "Sir Rudolph Vane," Viola's mother repeated. "I regret I cannot remember the Earl ever mentioning you." He shrugged his shoulders. "Our fathers fell out over some stupid matter or other. I always hoped that our generation could forget their differences. I belong to a lesser branch of the family, or else the earldom might indeed have passed to me." He looked around at the few mourners left. "The new Earl did not attend today?" The Countess shook her head. "He is in America. I received a cable of apologies." "Ah, so maybe I can hope to contact him after he returns, to take up residence here." The Countess looked taken aback. "That will not happen, sir. The title passes down the male line, but the castle is not entailed. In due course it will pass to my daughter, Viola." "It must be a relief for you not to have to give up your home," Sir Rudolph murmured. "On my return from the Antipodes, I took a house not far from here. It had been my hope that your husband and I would become friends. Now I would just hope that my cousin's widow and his delightful daughter would be prepared to accept my very sincere commiserations on their sad loss." The Countess gave him a sweet, bewildered smile, and said nothing. "I shall call upon you at some better time, and hope that you may be prepared to receive me," he stated. He placed his gleaming black top hat on his head, gave a small salute with his gloves, and left. Later, when, and feeling exhausted, they sat drinking tea, the Countess said to her daughter, "Just who was that distinguished-looking man who spoke to us at the end of the service? He claimed that he was a cousin of your father's." "He introduced himself as Sir Rudolph Vane," said Viola. "I never heard father mention him." The Countess put down her cup. "I remember him once saying that many years ago that there was a black sheep of the